Hi guys, it's your big gay trucker, Bobby Coffee Loy, and we are coming back basically from all of our fun that we had at the Mid America Truck Show, and so I'm starting back on doing our interviews of different people across the country that influence me and just that I admire and inspire me every day to do amazing things and just get up every day because being your true authentic self is what everything is all about and living every day to the fullest. So I have so much fun interviewing people and meeting all these amazing people that we have on the show. So today we have Mona Lotz, and I'm going to bring her in a second. So say hi, Mona.
Hi, everybody.
Looking fabulous, of course. And
truck driver look today.
Yeah. Serving some Shania Twain look, I think, I just love the cheetah. It's the cheetah for me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about you and how you started, how long you've been in the industry, and I know how much crazy fun it is. So just, feel free to be yourself on the show. We cuss, we talk about sex, we talk about everything. There's nothing out of the question. We talk about everything. So
Saturday night.
We need to do a late night show at some point, but
and my show's on Thursdays and it's at 7, and I put a disclaimer on it, especially now. Now it's like, yikes. So a little bit about myself. I am an only child. I grew up in Ohio. I'm in Ashtabula, which is the farthest northeast corner in Ohio. The city, town, whatever you want to call us. It means that the name Ashtabula is Indian, Native American, for River of Many Fish. So that's the name of my little town that I live in. And we're like huge on farmland. We're the largest county in Ohio with the least amount of people. So a lot of farmland, a lot of vineyards. We have a lot of wineries around here. So I grew up an only child in a very strict religious Pentecostal home. Being an only child, it was very, very tough.
Yes.
Because it's just you. They're always looking at you. So was raised very strict, as I said. I was always a dramatic person, obviously. So I, was in theater, band, choir, show choir, things like that.
So are you still there in that area?
Yes, I moved away. Something here brings you back. I don't know what it is.
It does.
Yeah, it like sucks you back. I think it's the lake.
I think it's just like, like Huntington, West Virginia is my home.
And my dad's from Yeager.
Okay. So yeah, Huntington, West Virginia is my home. And for some reason, You know, it's like the old Priscilla Queen of the Desert movie where the line where they say, you know, somehow suburbia, that wall around suburbia keeps,
Yeah,
is it them keeping us in or keeping the others out? And there's that safety zone you get, and for some reason you always end up coming back to
yeah.
home or in at least the area.
Well,
And
and you know, raised as a good little Christian boy, you know, you honor your parents, and I just never wanted to have my mother not have a child around her, so I of course stayed.
right.
You know, I blame her for being poor and you know, things like that. Just
My mom and me is the same way. I'll tell you, like I just lost my dad in January,
oh, I'm
and it's
sorry.
been really hard. But I kind of was the same. Like I have brothers and sisters, but my mom and dad had me when they were like 38. So
Wow.
like I was a late. I was, you know, everybody was already up and out of the house and everything. So like it was like being an only child because I was raised. They were already out doing their own things, living with, you know, and so I really never seen them that much. So it was kind of like being an only child, and then we moved mom and dad back in with us, of course, to take care of them, and you just got to. It's what you do. It's what you do. So
So to say,
yeah, it's just, you know, there's just something about those little small towns and those areas that I feel keeps us safe, and I never feel, even in Bowling Green here, it's not as close. You know, it's not. It's only like 4 hours away from Huntington, and I just like these little areas. Everybody, when we moved back here, they were like, "Why did you move here?" Because we spent like 7 years in Florida, and everybody was like, "Why would you move to Bowling Green from Florida?" But I like it. You know, in Florida, I didn't hear the trees, I didn't hear the birds, I didn't hear any of that, and I missed it.
yeah, you absolutely do. You miss that, just that peacefulness.
So on your show and what you do, who do you generally interview, and what was the start of that show?
The start of that show. So I started drag. What am I? 15 years now, something like that. I don't know. I think it's something like 15, 16 years. I'm right around there somewhere. Um, I never, you know, I'm an actor. I love the stage. I love creating characters. You know, I do the Grinch at Christmas time. I put myself out, um, and put Mona aside for a little bit and pimp the Grinch out. Um, uh, just creating characters, prosthetics, and things like that. So creating Mona was just I had saw a drag show years like when I was like in my very early 20s. Actually, a friend of mine, they like we went to a wine festival. I had no idea that we were going to this gay bar, and there was going to be a drag show. I had no idea. So I'm there, and this, you know, I always tell the story like it's like this glass mirror, you know, mirrored wall, and it opens up, and out comes like, you know, I refer to her like Patrick Swayze, just kind of that kind of feel, you know, um, dripping in jewels like head to toe, feather showgirl. I mean, it was the whole thing, and I was just mesmerized, and I had never seen that. And you know, I'd always thought about doing it, you know, because I was like, I think I kind of like it. And
Right.
my best friend was just like, "Why don't you do it? Why don't you do it?" And so it was like, you know, early 30s, and I'm like, we're going, you know, he's kept taking me to the bar, taking me to the bar, taking me to the bar. We're watching drag shows. So God rest his soul. He only got to see me perform like twice before he passed away.
Hmm.
Yeah, easy out, whatever. So, um, but yeah, I, you know, especially back then, I don't know so much as how it is now. I mean, I do have some new drag children, but you had to get with somebody. You know, you had to have a family to kind of help you get the end. So I'm from the House of Styles. Skylar Styles is my father. I spoke to him and I'm like, I want to do this, and he's like, well, what are you going to sell? That was our thing. What are you going to sell? And I was like, well, I'm a singer. Well, no, that you can't do that because Denise Russell sings, and she's the only one. Nobody would else understand that. I'm sure
Right.
you know that name, right?
Yep.
And I said, "Well, that's what I do. I don't dance. Like I'm going to sing." So, so he wouldn't let me. He wouldn't let me. He refused to let me sing. So like I competed for my first pageant 3 months in at the bar that we, you know, were from, and I won against 10 other. There was 10 of us, and I beat all my sisters and aunts and everybody else that competed. And guess what I did for talent? I sang, and so I've been singing ever since. So when 2 years ago, it'll be 3 years ago this June. We did our first Pride here in our little town. 3,000 people showed up. It was
awesome.
yeah. It was just out of this world. So right before that, I had taken a break because the economy was bad. Drag was just, I mean, people didn't tip. The bars weren't wanting to pay you. It just wasn't. Mona's a business. She has to pay for herself. If Mona wants a wig, she better go, do what she got to do, to get that wig. And so when I started dipping into my own money, I was like, it's not working because I don't have anything close to me. Everything's an hour drive at least.
Right.
And
I usually perform in like Dayton, or where do you perform?
No,
Canton, or
Dayton's like 4 hours away from me.
Okay. Is that like Canton? Is Canton closer then?
Cleveland, Akron, Canton, Youngstown. So I was a show director in Youngstown at the time, and that's exactly an hour from my house to Youngstown, to the club. So I retired. Basically, I was done. I gave everything away. Like I sold it, gave it away, whatever. And then when COVID happened, I was like, I wanted to bring her back. And it was like, I bought a house and I'm like looking at, my drag that I still had, because I did keep some stuff.
And you're saying, I'm thinking to myself, where can I put a drag room? And
yeah, right. That's what I mean, that the basement is hers. I mean, it's a finished basement, but I've got the green screen behind me. I've got the sewing area,
but a lot of people don't realize, like, even, like me, I bring illusion out for charity, like, and things like that. And, and I do that. It's there's not even a way to really explain, because the only thing I ever say to people is, she is like, everyone has this moment, and you'll know what I'm talking about. You have a moment. Some people, it's the eyelashes. Some people, it's the moment you put the wig on or whatever. Or the first look at looking in the mirror after you're fully dressed. Everyone has their moment where they snap into character.
Yes.
Like, she is a character, she is a role. A lot of people don't realize that. I mean, there's people that I remember back in the day that would be like, could you come home with us and sleep with us? And I was like, no, she's a character. That's not a
because I do the the Grinch or Scrooge, and I'll be like, you have to sleep with them first, Yeah, character. I say the same thing.
It's a role you play.
Right. It's not a sexual thing at all. Mine is when I get my eyes done. I do my eyes first, and as soon as I have them done, and I just paint from here up, and when the eyes are done, then I start to
right. Well, so like, even for me, I never even stayed with the same. A lot of people's like, why do you not stay with the same color hair? Oh my gosh, I had so many hairs. I had like beehive wigs that were stacked wigs in rainbow colors. I just had fun. It was fun.
I couldn't wear, my hair is always big. But I brought the show because I wanted to just have something different, and we did a talk show, and I was just interviewing drag queens. But I got a new job in June. I'd started the show, I think, March, April, and did like 7 episodes or something, and my job was just like taking my life away.
Right.
So for a year and a half, I didn't do it.
Right.
And so I was like, man, I really want to do this, and I'm tired of it. Are you tired of it? Because I'm tired of it. We're faced with daily, all the happenings that are going on. And I'm just like, I'm so tired of people just let people be what they want to be and do what they want to do. Just shut up.
Right. Well, I mean, I think the one thing that I think everybody needs to realize is it's a very simple line. And I was talking to others about this. I said, people don't understand drag. They don't understand being transgender. They don't understand all this stuff. But the simplest thing that is the answer to everything. It's not your place to understand.
It's not.
At all. It's that simple. You want everybody to mind their own business, but then you can't mind yours. Right. It's not your place to understand. If you don't want children at a drag show, don't take your kids.
Take them. You don't know why those.
Don't click on RuPaul's Drag Race. Don't click on Dragula. Don't, all this stuff that's out there. Don't do it. If you don't want to take your kids, you don't agree to it, then don't take them. But right. I will tell you, my whole life, the first people that's standing there with their tips and their ones, and I'm not knocking it, it's wonderful. It's the moms and the dads, and they're straight, and they're out for a night at the bar to have good fun that they don't have to worry about, and they don't want to go to a straight bar because they don't want to be hit on, or they don't want, to have to fight with somebody. So where did you go? You go to the gay bar, you watch the drag queens, you have fun, you tip,
Because
you
we're
get
fun.
it's fun. Back in the day, I used to take a marker and we used to sign tits and ass. We would sign boobs and we would sign butt cheeks on the men and boobs on the women,
I
and
just
it
got
was
the first
fun.
tattoo on somebody. They last week she showed me. I signed a piece of paper and she took it and she's got it on her leg.
Yeah,
My
I mean,
signature.
that's awesome,
Yeah.
but it's just fun. It's supposed to be good, clean fun. And if you don't understand, then don't go.
Then don't go.
And don't take your kids.
Like, I don't like guns.
No one is going, and no one's knocking on your door.
Right. Nobody's forcing you.
Right.
So I don't go to gun shows,
Right.
Because I don't like them. They scare me.
Growing up in the country, you'll understand. My dad took me out. My dad, he was like, "Oh, everybody needs to know how to learn to shoot a gun," and we shot cans off of the fence post or whatever. All that stupid stuff of being in the country. But my dad always thought that we should know how to do that. But then again, I was also raised in a time and era where my mother and my grandmother thought that everybody should know how to sew, at least a button or mend their clothes or that type of stuff. So, we all of us men knew how to sew, but we also knew how to use a gun, and my sister as well. And so it's just like, anyway, but things are different today. And a lot of people just worry about what everybody else is doing way too much.
Right. And that's why I brought this show out, and our motto is healing, hurting hearts. Just a safe place, because you can't really find one anywhere anymore. Even if it's virtual, you still have a place to go. And I just finished our website, lotsproductions.org. And there's actually like a forum on there that people can go to for the Lots of Tea, and talk. And and just be safe, and talk. Reach out to somebody. I don't care. I mean, and having my co-host now, she's amazing. Large Marge. I've known her. I just love that she wanted her own drag name and she wears wigs. I love it. But she's a licensed therapist who specializes in trauma. And she's I mean, we've known each other forever, but she just kind of fell into my lap to be on the show, and I couldn't ask for a better partner in crime because I don't want to. I know what I've gone through, and and I know how to counsel,
right.
But I'm not
certified.
You're not certified. So it's nice to have her there because I can lead her to where I want to go, too. So it kind of helps.
Well, and even for us in trucking, a lot of people don't think about being LGBTQ, and when they see a semi truck fly past them on the highway, that is not the first thought. Their first thought is never really someone being trans.
Grinder.
But it's not really the first thought, someone being trans and them going through surgeries in their truck or any of that stuff. Like, none of these things, people would never think of that.
No.
And so, our group does the same thing. We provide a safe space for people to be themselves and chat and talk amongst each other, also message the group. So I completely understand. And but that's also why people are like, well, why are you interviewing drag queens? Well, I will tell you why. Because there's a gap between our society of the regular LGBTQ, and they don't even think about LGBTQ people being on the road. And I want to kind of like bridge that a little bit. I think that
I mean, I know. I mean, I live by a Flying J and a Pilot. Like, they're 5 minutes from my house, so I know there are gay truck drivers, like I said.
Right.
But yeah, you don't really think of it that
way. Right. You don't.
And you do have to bridge gaps. I mean, I said this just the other week. We are the biggest community, the LGBTQ plus community, to be like, well, we demand respect, and you need to treat us this way, but we treat our own people like fucking shit. Am I allowed to say that?
We do.
Fat shaming and body shaming and all that.
Hell, even age shaming. Like, I think you're in your 30s and you're too young. You're too old. Too old in your 30s. Like,
yeah, but when you turn my age, I don't know how old you are. I'm 46, but when I turned 40 and got the daddy status, I was like, oh, this is fun. Because 30 sucked. I go, what am I going to do the rest of my life?
Well, I'm like 43, so that I'll tell you, like, we even had something happen here that was really kind of creepy. Being in Bowling Green, I am sitting in front of this window right here. So this window to my left and there's a window. I'm in like a corner area, a corner room, and someone literally had sent a picture to our Twitter of me sitting here, and it's a 16-year-old boy that said it's consensual for people in Kentucky at 16 to have sex, and he wanted a daddy trucker, and had sent a picture of me sitting right here. And I was like, "Are you serious?" Like,
I wish somebody would. I wish my pit bull out like faster than you even know.
But yeah, I was like, that is crazy. That's crazy. But anyway, yeah, some of the stuff out there. But the thing is, I love what we do. I love being on the road. I love the people that we meet. And since starting the organization, I have met so many amazing people like you. I mean, you're awesome. I love what you're doing. I love the story of what you're doing in the background. I was in mental health for like 16 years in nursing, and so I did a lot of that. I'm not certified as well, but it's one of those things. I want to help people. A lot of people don't think about drivers, but literally there's over 3,000 drivers a year that die, and a lot of them in their truck from suicide. And so it's just one of those things. I like to talk about these things. These are not what people want to talk about, but
and not everybody wants to, is comfortable going to see a psychiatrist or something. I did. I had to. You're so mentally, screwed being gay and growing up in a Pentecostal home and Southern parents, and I had it from every angle. What I mean? The only thing the line I never did cross was have sex with a woman. I mean, I'm a gold star gay, so praise the Lord on that one. But
I'm gold star gay too.
Oh, good. But it's like, you get kind of
yeah.
Especially your dad being one of the first people to ever call you a faggot, and then years later, like you find out that he's having an affair on your mom, and you've been this disgusting thing, and now, so it really messed with me, and this was all during like right before COVID.
Oh wow.
So like when COVID hit, I got PTSD. It was crazy. I was stuck in my house, and so that's when I found out all these different things with my therapist and my psychiatrist. And now I can tell those things to people that don't want to go, that aren't comfortable. Be like, you know what, this is what they did for me. Maybe it'll help you go. That's what I want to do.
I don't know why there's a problem with mental health. I don't know why there's that thing like everybody's so
people are so afraid to say it. They're so afraid to say it.
I had cancer when I was 28, and I had colon cancer, and being in my house and looking at the same four walls for over a year and a half, 2 years, really took a mental health drain on me. And I had to seek to talk to somebody. And it literally was just talking. That's all we did. We just talked. And there was nothing else to it. But I don't see where it's such a cliche or such a horrible thing. Like, it's not hard to talk to somebody, and it's a person that doesn't know you. You can it's a free space where you can talk to somebody. I don't know why that's such a horrible thing.
It doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. It just gets worse. And then it turns into, I mean, we watch the news, I don't watch the news, but I mean, we hear the stories of suicide or mass shootings or what have you. And that's just because they have nothing else to do. They have
no way to direct that.
Push it down, and then it explosions, volcano. It's a volcano eruption.
No one's directing it anywhere. You know what I mean? You have to have a way to direct it or redirect what's going on with you, and have an outlet. Because if you don't have an outlet, it's the worst thing. So, where do you perform?
I was allowed to say the F word. They're just
you are.
I'm a drag queen. It comes out. I can't.
Well, we're truck drivers, so it's just as bad.
Yeah, what's the difference? It's the same thing, right? Well,
we're usually cussing out the road. So
right. Probably.
Usually the four-wheelers, the little
get this. So I have a Cadillac SRX, which is like a SUV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how your headlights will get like that little filmy inside.
Uh-huh.
Well, I got to get that taken care of. So I have to drive with my brights on. So literally, like 2 days ago, the semi passes me, and he goes to get over in front of me, and he shines a light back in my face like it was like a deer hunting light. And I was like, this one. Can you believe that?
Are you sure it wasn't Jeff? I mean, he's got one of those lights on his truck.
Probably was. In Ohio, Route 11 north.
No, and people don't think about those trucks. Honestly, they don't think about the trucks when they're going on the highway, and they really don't think about the stopping distance and all that stuff. It takes almost 3 football fields for a truck to stop when it's going 65 miles an hour. And people don't.
One of my biggest, they petrify me, especially mostly because I live in the snow belt, so they, there's stuff throwing up. And I'm already like white fisted, oh God.
Yeah.
I don't drive the freeway anymore. I don't have to, like, in the wintertime. Well,
I get it. So where do you perform locally now? Like, since
so actually, the place that I used to show direct at and host, as well as my drag mother, Danielle Vasquez, she was there right before I was. We are starting a Friday night drag party, every Friday night starting next Friday. So that's in Youngstown at Utopia. I perform. I'm on Showcast at Drag Me to Dinner in Medina, Ohio, which is on the other side of Cleveland. It's about 2 hours from my house. Blast! It's dinner and a show. So much fun. So much fun. Love the people. I mean, there's seats about 250 people. We have a great time. Also down in Mansfield, so that's probably closer to you.
right.
But that's another 2 hour drive. I'm telling you, everything's far. So do that at Akron. I'm going to be at work. May 2nd, which is in Canton, and Akron Cocktails. May 5th, and then the following Friday I'm in Akron Cocktails. It's all on my Facebook or my Facebook page, but my website has an events calendar. It's all on the website.
And we love Danielle Vasquez. She's amazing. Like, I've always been an amazing person. I've always followed her career, been friends with her forever. So she's.
Did you see her on my show the first episode we came back when Kim Spoon was on?
We had Kim Spoon on right before you guys had Kim Spoon.
Yeah.
And then, yes, I had got to see all of that, and Kim was on ours, and we did a whole talking with her. Love her; she's amazing too. And I got to see when Danielle was on there as well, so I thought that was awesome. She is just I wish there was more Kim Spoons in the world. Like,
right.
We need more people like her and to advocate and be out here and just educating others. And that's the key to everything, I really feel.
Miss Crown, Miss Baker's here with us.
Okay.
Breathtaking.
And you froze up a second. I don't know why.
There's 3 contestants. Are we back?
Yep, we're back.
Okay.
I think
3 contestants. They were like, after the opening, it was She Devil. I turned around and I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to judge it. It was. I was like, this is gonna be scary.
I see all the pictures and photos. I thought it was awesome. I did that.
Amazing. All 3 of them were amazing. We had to nitpick. It was like down to nitpicking. You had to.
Judging is hard, though. I used to judge a lot.
I mean, I judge every day. Don't get me wrong, but.
But judging a pageant is it is hard. It's really hard to judge a pageant, and you have to leave your biases aside when you're seeing some of the people, and you have to judge in the moment of what they presented. And a lot of people don't realize that, and that doesn't happen. It's one of the things I don't like about the community. A lot of people appoint people. They give crowns away now instead of even holding a pageant. And I'm just one of the people that.
Now I've told and I've told people this too, in the drag world, and I also I'm certified to like judge real girl pageants, like kids pageants and stuff like that. Yeah, I know. And I MC a huge one here in my hometown. And I'll tell people, I'm like, this is just, you can have the same exact people do the same exact thing, have a different panel of judges, and have a totally different outcome. You will.
Right.
It's the opinion of 5, 4, however many judges you have. It's their personal opinion. That's it.
It is.
It is. It's what they can catch and the 5 minutes they see. Sometimes not even that.
Right. But I think, I love the creativity and the art of pageant. I always did pageants. Pageants was always a fun thing because
Yeah.
if you want to be creative and doing drag and having fun, it just, but the pageants for me was always the thing. I loved it. I loved being able to have like set designs and props and all this other stuff. And so, and literally there was moments back in the day that I would walk in and 3 girls would walk out because they didn't take the time to be creative. And I wasn't, and I was like, no, 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 no. I'd be the first to tell them, you need to go, because even though I walk in with all of this, does not mean anything. You may present something better than I do. You may win a category. Yeah.
I used to not tell people I was doing a pageant
Right.
because when I won mine, I was like, oh, let's, and then now I'm like, I was just like, taking them, through around, and I didn't tell people I was coming. And I would show up like last minute because they would pull out.
Right.
Do it. And I'm like, that doesn't mean, whatever.
Right.
I mean, I still wasn't going to win, but I mean,
I had people that came in, they literally, when I was getting ready to go on talent, they literally like, I had talent props and stuff, and they were like kicking my props and like,
yeah. Well, let me just tell you this before I forget. The last title that I won, and I still am because they never did another pageant, is the one judge. She's like 957. She's in the Bible, I'm pretty sure. She's like, it's drag queen. And she wrote on my score sheet. Now I sing live, right? That my lip sync was off. Swear my hands, God. And I was like, I just, whatever. Yeah. But that's why you can't use fire anymore and stuff like that, because that one bitch set up the judges on fire after the pageant.
Lord Almighty.
Glass and put it in people's press powder. And
Lord, I remember the day, like I'm as old, I'm gonna tell my age, so it's like I'm as old as Amanda Love used to follow people out to their cars with a stun gun, like she would zap a girl. Like it was forever ago, but I don't condone those acts, but I'm just saying that like it was forever ago in a different world back then. But so for you, acting, I know that acting is an amazing thing that you enjoy, and so tell us a little bit about your acting experience and what you've done and things like that.
Well, I had a friend. It's always these friends forcing you to do something. Just because I was not, I was sheltered. I wasn't really sheltered, but I was. I mean, it was church. My mother growing up, my grandparents were preachers, holiness. And if you don't know what that means, I mean, that's like, the no makeup, don't cut your hair, women, couldn't wear pants, no TV in the house, things like that. So they had just broke out of that. So I was still, fart and stuff was a bad word, that was cussing, couldn't say that. Crap. That was,
Right.
So it was just church plays and stuff. So a friend of mine was like, signed me up for the play to audition. Had no idea. She walks me over. She's like, pick a song. And I was like, for what? Yeah. So I got it was my 10th grade year, and I got like a supporting actor role. And then after that, I was the lead in all the shows in high school. And was I? Oh, well, not the lead. I take that back. Bye Bye Birdie we did, and I was not. I was Mr. McAfee.
Okay.
And I studied Paul Lynn and was Paul Lynn on that stage, let me tell you. And then from there, I have not stopped. My dear friend, the other one, my other best friend, we were like the Golden Girls. We were Blanche and Dorothy and Sophia, or not Sophia, but Rose, and Kyle and Christopher. And it was every night, the three of us, they're both gone. They died within 6 months of each other. Talk about that was like traumatic too. So I've dealt with a lot. Horrible. But he was a director and did his shows, and he would always he had MS, and he just declined, and so he couldn't do stage anymore. So he would cast me in the roles that he would play or want to play. Mm-hmm. So because he knew I would do it his way. So I was always with him. After that, I joined there's a dinner theater here they're like family to me, Noble Art Entertainment. I've been with them 19 years, I believe. But my last role that I've done was as Mona, Brother Boy in Sordid Lives. Loved it.
That's awesome.
Oh my God, Leslie Jordan. And I didn't play it as Leslie Jordan, and I've got so many compliments on that because I played it as I would. I mean, I played it as myself, and made it funny, but didn't go off of how Leslie Jordan was. but it was great. It was absolutely great. And it's funny because I don't ever think of that as a Mona, because it was Mona playing a character. It was a character playing a character of a character. Wow. Yeah. Talk about multiple personality.
So where do you see Mona in like 5-10 years?
Well, I hope still alive.
It's a good start.
Yeah, let's start there. I the sky's the limit, Bobby. The sky's the limit. I really want, I say outreach, because that ministry is a bad word to a lot of people. I know who God is in my life and who He is, and Jesus, and the whole thing. Like, I am a very spiritual person. I'm not religious. Religion is man-made. It is a comfort zone. It is damaging. It is hurtful. It caused me to want to die, myself. And but it's not who God is, so I want to use that. Like, this whole start of this is part of that, is this outreach to bring the love and just share the love. And I really want this to blossom. I feel that it's going to blossom. I've been sitting on this for way too long. All through COVID, I was here in my house, basically talking to myself, and singing in worship songs and stuff like that, and just having a time. And I felt it. Like, I felt it even then. Like, you've got to do this. There's no place for these people to go anymore. Mm-hmm. There's not. I saw a pastor on TikTok, and he's like, if people had the faith that gay people have in church, that keep coming back and getting abused and keep coming back and getting abused.
Yes, it's amazing.
He's right. Yes. Like, why do we go back? Because we want to, because we want that relationship, but they don't let us have it.
Right. They judge you for even having that relationship.
I mean, I've been a worship leader in church since my 18 years old, so how many times I was, gotta go, and traveled in a production with a Christian artist, and, was like I don't even know what you would call me, almost like the director. I mean, I would go and teach everybody, and she would fly in and we'd do the show. It was like every week, fly around the nation. And it's just like, I don't know, someone calls down there. I was in Oklahoma.
On my own spiritual thought for a second, basically, is for me, I just look at, we're all born in different cultures, and we're raised in these cultures and ethnic backgrounds, and whenever you're raised, so how I feel is, as long as you have faith and love and a higher power that you believe in, and you don't have to step foot in a church, you don't have to crack open a Bible. It's about how you treat others and what you get back. And I think at the end of the day, and when it is your final day in your place, then we will all know. But besides that,
exactly.
I just try to be good to others. I still believe in God, and people are completely surprised by that. I don't know why, but I do. And there's things that I don't say, and I try not to take God's name in vain. And there's things that I don't like, there's certain things I don't say. Like, I hate when someone says GD. It's just one of my things. It's a pet peeve of mine. I don't know. It's just there. And I don't care which God you're interpreting it to. To me, it's just offensive. But
when someone says Jesus effing, I can't even.
Yeah, there's certain things but besides that, I just feel that, there's so many people that are so fast to judge, and that's the problem. Like, I could not imagine waking up every day and having to go to bed every night so worried about what someone else is doing.
Right. I don't worry about anybody but myself. I do not worry about anybody but myself. I used to worry about everybody but myself. Not in the aspect of what you're saying, but trying to make people happy. You can't.
No, that wears you out. That's how I had my first heart attack.
Self happy. That's it. Period. That's the only.
I had my first heart attack, and when it was because of that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was trying to please everyone, people please everybody, and I was trying to do it through love and compassion, and it just wore me out.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't know. I just feel that the bars and all the things that's going on, and all the hate that's going on, and people getting mad over beer cans, and just all the stuff. It's so stupid, honestly. Like, what does it matter?
It is, and it's like nobody cares about, you know,
Right.
certain organizations. We don't care about their drag that they're in every Sunday, what
Right.
they're doing in the back room with the children. We don't care. We just, well, they got money, I guess. Is
And
that why?
it's not, when it comes down to it, in the main media, and I hate listening to main media, but I do have to stay on top of it sometimes with our shows and stuff like that. So I lightly glaze the top of it, if it makes sense, for the week of what's going on. And if not, TikTok tells me about it because everybody goes crazy.
Mine,
You don't got to watch the news because someone's going to throw a TikTok on about it, and you're like, oh, that happened this week. But so, but it's just, I don't know. I try not to get so wrapped up in some of the stuff because I can't live my life like that. I want to lay down at night and I want to be able to go to sleep and not think about stupid drama that's unnecessary. And
be happy that you woke up, and be thankful and go about your day.
yeah.
Go about your day and live your life. That's what I was like. I'm like, why does it matter? Like, why does it matter if this person wants to identify as a man, but they were born as a woman? Why does that matter to you? Why does that matter?
So I'm very spiritual, and I said something.
Well, guess what? I don't understand why you're straight. I don't,
Right.
because I don't have any heterosexual thoughts, tendencies at all. Being with a woman sexually is repulsive to me. It is.
I mean, I can look at a woman and I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, you have beautiful boobs." To me, a woman is like a piece of art. I look at it's like looking at a photo on the wall. I'm like, "Girl, you got beautiful boobs."
You know what I said? Right. Yeah. Like, where'd you get them at? Do you know what I said the other day? I said, how do we not know? Because we don't. That straight men are hiding, that they don't all, because we know there's a lot, want to dilly dally. We don't know. What if every man created, because they're all horn dogs, what if every man in the world thought about it, but they suppressed it? We don't know.
Back in the day, like I can remember one of my close friends that passed away, and I don't know, every man he ever was with was a straight man, but and he would always say, he'd be like, so is spaghetti until you get it hot. Like he would spaghetti straight until you get it hot.
That's great.
And I would die all the time. Like he just would, and he'd be at like Walmart, and he'd be like, "I want to shake like that in my backyard." You're like, didn't care how straight the man was. He just was. But nobody ever like bothered him. Believe it or not, no one ever punched him. Nobody ever bothered him. He was so confident in who he was.
It was the confidence.
And he was about as round as he was tall. He's like, he was the funnest friend. But we
like, in trouble for hurting the special kid.
Nah, he just was amazing. He was hilarious. We used to go dumpster diving back in the day, like literally. We used to go dumpster diving without.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's forever ago. People are gonna be like, "What are you talking about, dumpster diving?" But yes, we used to go dumpster diving and then go thrifting on the weekends together. He was just hilarious. But it's good, valuable friendships and things like that. That builds who you are. It builds who you are, and we never was catty to each other. We'd be like Blanche and Dorothy, whatever, catty, but like, but not like catty to each other. We never. Today's world, there are some things I do have problems with because the meanings of friendships, true friendships, have kind of went out the window, and it's very few and far between that I find true friendships within our group. I have found a lot of people who are on the road and more like you, more separated away from others.
Yeah.
And I find that those people have more valuable friendships.
That was something else that I learned through all this, because I just have I have a lot of acquaintances.
Right.
I'll call them that now. I used to call them friends. But let me tell you something that my cousin told me to do, and I did it. Stop texting people first.
Yeah.
It gets really small fast.
Yeah.
That's how you know who values you.
Well, when I had my heart attack, and my mom had her heart attack like a couple years prior, and the doctor literally said, "It's the simplest thing you could do ever. Start saying no.
No, yeah. Say no.
Say no."
I would not. I would run myself ragged all over the place.
Yep.
Oh, day in, day out for everybody. And then I need them. They don't answer the phone. They don't return a text.
Mm-hmm.
I was down to the point where like people were like, "Oh, we're coming over," and I wouldn't hear from them for 4 days. I'm like, "When were you coming over?"
Well, there's people, like, so when me and my husband went into trucking almost 7 years ago, and when we went into trucking, we was working at local Red Cross doing blood and plasma and all tons. Anyway, we was working at the local Red Cross, and when we did that, we was running all over. But we always had Christmas parties and holiday parties and cookouts and all this stuff. Right? It was so much fun. Everybody, but I wouldn't even see people that lived on the same street as me. They were just a couple blocks away.
Yeah.
And but they would come to parties and stuff, and that was it. Well, then after we went into trucking, it was like crickets. We didn't hear anybody.
Yeah.
Like we weren't available anymore all the time, but we were just a text away, a call away, but nobody we didn't hear from them. But then we moved to Florida. This was the biggest thing. Like a year went by and we moved to Florida after getting into trucking. Everybody was like, "Oh, free place to go and free place to go stay at to go to vacation."
Isn't that crazy?
And I readily was very unavailable. Like I made myself
cool with how many friends you'll get.
Yeah. The only people that we really stayed in contact, and I'm sure some of them are going to be on this right now. Like they'll watch this. But the thing was, this is why we didn't make ourselves completely available all the time, because we dropped, like, it was like they dropped off the face of the earth. Well, these were people we took vacations with and went everywhere together and parties. But then as soon as we went into trucking, we never heard nothing from them. It's crazy. And the worst part of that is I cared more. That's what I learned from it. I thought that my value of friendship with them was way better and way bigger, because I thought of them as like family. Like I would have done anything for these people.
I have two that I considered friends just recently. Oh, let me speak of my hat. My crew bought me this hat. It is like a handmade lopsided top hat. I don't know what my green screen is doing, but you see it?
I see it. It's cute. Very Boy George. I love it.
Yes, right. It's a top hat, handcrafted. Like, love it. But so I had to switch because the other one was doing worse with the green screen. I don't know what it's doing. But anyway, what were we talking about? See, I don't have
friendships.
Oh yeah. So I had two people, and one of my friends was here when this guy. Now I was out of work. I go back to well, we won't go in that story because I quit my job because I really didn't like what they were doing and I left.
Right.
I haven't really worked. Well, I have, but not Uber and stuff like that. But whatever. I loaned $20, last $20 I had at the time, to someone who was going to give it back to me in 2 days. This was like beginning of January, and I was like, I don't really have it. But here's the thing of God will supply, because I was like, man, I'm thinking cigarettes and this and that and everything else. And I never went without for myself. But do you know that it came down to the point where I was like, one of my friends was like, your friendship wasn't even worth $20. Because I said, you know what? And he never replied back because I didn't tell him not to. Said, you obviously needed this money more than I did. This we're talking in the end of March that I did this. You obviously need this more than I do. And I've made a decision. I'm not going to let people treat me this way anymore. I'm allowed to make that decision for my life, and I'm going to. And you don't even have to contact me. Like, that's it. But when my friend was like, your friendship wasn't even worth $20, because had I owed it, I would have been like, it's $20. It's pretty easy to get back. You know what I mean? Knowing that I didn't have a job too.
Right.
And do you know that he, he could have not had McDonald's that week, or not had a Pepsi. You had water from your faucet. You know what I mean? Just to get that back.
Right.
And 3 times he said he was going to give it back to me and never did. And I was like, you know what? So now I've just learned, you don't loan if you don't let people borrow money, you give it to them.
Right.
If they give it back, then it was a reward.
The value in friendship is not the same anymore. I value them a lot, and I think of people like family, but a lot of people abuse that in today's world, and then they wonder why they're lonely because it's like people will fly through their life, like the whole Medea thing. You have those roots of the tree, but then you have the leaves that fall and they just fly through for a moment. That you think that you're friends, but then they're really not, and they're the acquaintance that you thought was a friend.
And one day you'll just be like trying to find something in your text scrolls. You'll be like, whoa, that was 3 or 4 months ago. The last time I heard from that person, because they just fizzed out. When you don't care anymore, it doesn't.
But I even find myself doing the thing that you said. A lot of the time, I've had to stop myself because I'm the first to initiate conversation. Always, I'm the
Too.
first to hit that text and send something.
Yeah, it's like
and that is tiring. That's emotionally straining at times, especially when you're on the road and you're sitting out there and you have all these people. And how long does it take? It takes a second to send a text.
I mean, now I'm not gonna lie. My crew's over here on the side over my production crew. Sometimes I don't answer. I need a break. God bless them, but sometimes I need a break. Sometimes I need a nap. Sometimes I just don't have my phone with me. But I'll get back to them.
Right.
That's the thing. You can't. It's sad. It is. It's sad that people will just not value somebody and just use them like that.
So with the show that you're doing, and with your friend that you've just met and everything going on, with that, tell us a little bit about the direction you want to go with the show and where you want to see it go and what it blossom into. Are you going to do any lives from like bars, or are you going to do any lives from like Pride events or anything?
I plan to do Pride. Go live at our Pride here for sure. Was blessed with a really nice, digital. Is it digital? I guess, right? Is that what they're called? I don't know. I just buy it. I buy it or I get it. But it's really nice. So it'll be able to go live with us. It actually has a lapel microphone, so but I'll probably have a handheld anyway because I have to look professional.
Yep.
Look official. And so we will plan on doing that. It's going. We're already. I can tell you what we're doing. All the way up until June. Because we'll talk and like I think the 1st of June we're going to start into. Well, we're going to do a little Pride stuff through June, and then July I'm going to start into like child abuse, like the mental breakdown of what the mental abuse and stuff like that. We're in May we start like the transgender gender dysphoria, that kind of thing, just understanding, because there's just people that don't understand that are allies, and there are people that don't understand that are a part of the community. I mean, when I started drag, I mean that's the first time I saw a trans person.
Right.
And then it was a trans man who was with a woman, and then I was like, I was like, okay, so I understand that. But then you'll be like a trans man who's with a man, and you're like, I don't understand that. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I don't need to understand it. It's great. He's a gay man. Wonderful.
Right.
I don't need to understand it. And
Well, I feel what you're doing is great because education is key. Education is key.
and that's where I want to go with it. Education, and hopefully help heal somebody. I had a testimonial come in after the last show on being with a narcissist, and they're like, you really are helping hurting hearts out there. Like I was and with the narcissist all the time, like I craved them. Like she was addicted to it so much. She's actually going to be the guest on the next show for the Trauma Bonds, which are created. And that's what I want. I just want, if she was the only one that it helped, then that was what it was meant to do, but I don't think so. I think it's just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, we have 2,000 people that are, you know, are tuning in, you know. When I stopped the production before, it was about 3,000 that we had going on. I mean, you know, I'm you know, a little TikTok famous. So, you know, we're gonna be going live back on there too. It's gonna go. I really feel that we're just gonna let it let it go, let it take off. Like when I did the website, I told, you know, my 4 staff members, my crew, that's what I call it, my crew, my girls, that, you know, this is what I want you to do. I'm signing you in because we want to start this process. So as
Right.
we build and we start doing, you know, as it grows and we have teams and we have people maybe on payroll and stuff, we already are doing it. You know, we're
Right.
not scrambling to do it down the road. So and they're wonderful. They have to be because they're family, you know, or they're very close friends. So they kind of have to do
Well, I
this.
mean, anytime I feel that what you're doing will take off, you know, with us, that's exactly why when I started to hear about you and hear about all the different things that you were kind of like dabbling in, I really, it hit home for me. So I know living in the area, you probably will know what the Palace of Gold is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was one of the sex trafficked children for the Palace of Gold whenever I was a kid. And so I don't know, maybe it's one of those things that, you know, I don't know if people remember all that. Like I literally was on the side of a milk carton basically, and like one of the kids that was,
Yeah.
they had some semi-trailer trucks like buried in the ground under the rose garden, and they would put all the children down, and we would go down on a ladder at nighttime, and then we wouldn't be seen and capped over, and then it would come back up, um, and then later on, I was one of the 10 children that was around Swami Bhaktapad, and I was one of the ones that slept in the temple every night. So um, I can remember being rescued, and I can remember the cops coming, and I remember all of that. So being able to speak out about things like that and talk about it openly, I have never talked about it openly. Actually, I think this probably is the first time I've really talked about it to another person on live chat or anything. But it's just one of those things. So helping people and getting through things like that, a lot of people don't understand it until you've been through it or heard someone's testimonial about it.
Yep.
So it's very important to do that. And then as far as the group goes, you know, I totally look forward to us networking in the future, working things together,
About it. Yep.
bring a truck up to Pride and bring, you know, have a truck on display. We do a visibility project. And one of the things that
Ours is
I
at a
find,
campgrounds or a fairgrounds.
yeah, well, one of the things about the visibility project we do is we basically take a 53-foot trailer and I display all of the flags within our community. And you would not believe how many people was like, I don't know what that flag is. And I don't know what this one is. And, you know, there's 53 of them that I think it's, no, there's 48 of them I put on the 53-foot trailer.
They just made a new one.
Yeah, so it's just like there's another one, and so I think there's like 49 now or something like that. But I literally display all the flags because it's educational. It's just a tool to, you know, for our community to see. But we definitely need to network on things,
Yeah,
and
if you get a chance, watch my where I actually preached in Asmona.
that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, in a affirming church and told my story. If you get a chance to hear it, you know what I
Yeah,
went through, and that's you'll hear in that today. You know what I mean? You'll hear where I was back then,
right.
where we were headed. So
But you know, everyone's life is a journey. And
yes,
if you don't act upon it, you don't keep it inside. It's so much, you know, to express yourself and get out there and do it. You just put it out there and be yourself. And that's all I'm doing with the group. You know, I founded it because I seen a spot, I seen an emptiness. There was no communication. There was nobody, there was nowhere for anyone to go. You know what I mean? Like they were, and so when I founded it, I was like, I don't know where it's going to go, but I can do bad all by myself. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, yeah. I mean, I started mine by myself, you know, here, and then my cousins were like, "No, you can't." You know, when I did it, they're like, "You can't even keep up." And mine started because when I hit, you know, when I came back, I just like, "Oh, TikTok, let's do a little TikTok," and my video was
right.
horrible, like the editing was horrible, and I woke up to 2,000 followers, and by the end of the week, I had 10,000, and it just
Oh,
so
wow.
happened to be Thursday, so I went live that night. I painted and went live, and you know, people are like, sing us a song, you know, then it's and all this, and it just turned it, and people are tipping, and you know, oh, you know, where do
That's
you get
awesome.
merchandise? And someone was like, you need to do this. And I was like, would you guys watch it if I did it? Like, I mean, I'm not going to pay. It's a lot of money to pay, to look this good. How's Dolly Parton saying it takes a lot of money to look this cheap?
Yep, it does.
It does. And, but the following has been great and they've stayed loyal. Like, even when I was gone for a year and a half, they're back.
Well, I'd love to bring some trucks up to Pride. I would. I think it'd be fun for us to get together, bring some trucks up. And
it's the third. It's the first Saturday.
Okay, something I'll bring it to the group and we can talk about it after the show and stuff. But I think it'd be fun. It'd be a fun thing to do and get together. But
it's fairgrounds, like you can pull right in. It's easy.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. And that's some of the problems sometimes is it's really hard to get trucks in places.
These and stuff, yeah.
And like down the city streets and all the stuff, they just don't leave room for
Jefferson. Corner seat. Yeah. Jefferson. Woo.
Well, I thank you so much for being here. And go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you and all that type of stuff. So
absolutely. I have a Lots of Tea. If you're not familiar, that's my talk show where we helping to heal people. Their broken hearts, their hurt, all that. You can find me on Facebook at Mona Lots and Lots of Tea Facebook page. I'm also on TikTok at Mona_Lots. You think that my crew would already had everything up here. Or the easiest way to do it, Bobby, is just to go to my website because it has, you can just find Mona on there and boom.
And we'll put links for everything too.
So it's Lots Productions. But am I allowed to type in this thing? I can't type over there, can I?
We can put we'll put it all up on there later with you. Yeah, we'll tag everything.
Yeah, so that gives my events of where I'm at and reminds you of our YouTube and our live broadcasts and all that good stuff. But I need more followers. I'm almost to 15,000 people on TikTok. People, I need help. I'm like 14.8.
That's awesome, though.
I want to get to 15 so I feel once I get to 15, because I've been holding on to this 14.7. I just crossed over, crossing over Jordan. I just crossed over, and it's like, I feel like once I hit 15, I'm going to get to 20. Like, it's going to be like fast. Like 15 to 20 is not that far, but 10 to 15 has taken me a year and a half.
Right. It takes time. But you know what? We haven't even really touched our TikTok. We've been doing things on all the other platforms, and we've talked to the group, and I'm like, we really need to do some things on TikTok. But the funniest thing is, like, I see other drivers and they go live on TikTok, and what I might find boring, I will tell you something really fast. Something I find completely. Well, these people want to sit and just watch us drive down the highway. They're just watching
your face.
And not even seeing our face. They're just looking at the road. And I'm like, that is the most boring.
I get on there sometimes late at night, and I'm like, there are people on there sleeping and people are paying them.
I know.
And I'm like, I'm over here, telling jokes and being funny and like helping people, and people are just skipping on by. They come out and I'd be like this. They sit and watch me all night, and I wake up for $1,000 probably.
Well, I mean, I think you should just go on there and just smoke a cigarette. Just sit there and smoke a cigarette. Don't even talk.
You can't smoke a cigarette.
Oh, you can't?
You can't be live and smoke a cigarette. Nope.
Really? That's crazy.
I called my cousin an idiot on there. I was doing it live because that's what my family says. We do. I can't help it. And she was on. And listen, I was doing a makeup tutorial with my other cousin who's in West Virginia, and she was doing one. And we had another girl on there, and we were all painting and talking. And my other cousin came in, and I was like, you don't want to talk to her. I said, she'll get you in trouble at funerals, and da-da-da. And I'm going through, she's an idiot. Boom. Immediately I was banned.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
Yeah. For bullying and
harassment.
For saying idiot. Yeah. And
maybe it's good that we're not on TikTok too often. So maybe it's good we're not on TikTok too often.
Mona_Lots, and it's LOTZ. I'm the original. There's several out there.
Well, I thank you so much for being here. It's been kind of fun just chit-chatting. It just feels like I'm talking to an old girlfriend and someone I've known my whole life. So, we definitely need to chit-chat and get together and doing some things.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be really awesome. And I haven't seen Danielle forever, so I need to see her and a couple other people. But yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
So
when you come, if you can come up that night before, you could come see her at our show in Youngstown, and then Pride's the next morning.
yeah,
Look at that.
that would be fun.
Yeah,
Yep, sounds good.
she won't be at Pride. She has since being diagnosed with diabetes. She's posting, and that's the only reason why I'm
Right.
saying it. She's had some very bad feet issues, and her doctor just told her like
Her surgeries and toe surgeries and the stuff going on.
heels and stuff, like you're done. And so she has to limit herself. So
I know she hates every moment of it. I see her post and I follow all the stuff, and I mean, I know it's her heart. She loves it. Yeah. So, but no, I followed her on everything, and I wish her the best on everything always. And I know that she's had to wear her boot for a while and all that stuff. So, but it'd be good to see everybody and be in that area, hang out, bring some sexy truckers up to you that you can.
Yeah. I have a big house. Look, I live here. It's three floors. I live here all alone, just me and my dog.
Okay.
I got 3 bedrooms and a whole basement.
That can happen. All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll definitely do stuff again.
Yes.
I'm actually come on your show and do something for your show. And we talk about things.
After you just told me some stuff, let's talk about it. Maybe during the child stuff.
Yeah. I don't talk about it very much, but I can. I need to, because I know that when you tell your story, you can help others by telling it. So,
especially the age we're living in right now, child.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. You're so beautiful.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm sure you were beautiful too when you were a drag queen. You're handsome.
I'll show you a picture sometime.
Yeah. Please do. Thank you.
All right. Bye. So that's today's show, everybody. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to continue to inspire myself and others just by having all these amazing people come on the show. LGBTQ plus Truck Driver Network has given me so much since I've started it, and the amazing people that I've met. It's just, it's awesome, and I do want to give a special shout out to everybody that is our crew, which is, Derek and Jess and Tabitha and Katie and everybody that, sorry, my foot just stopped, but everybody that makes the whole process happen. There's all these people in the back, and we absolutely just in the background, and Jean Ann does all this photography stuff, and just everybody makes it happen. And you may not see all the people, but everybody is just amazing. And I'm so thankful to have Sean, and Sean does a lot of the mental health stuff. So I thank you all so much for everything that you do. So that is a wrap for today, and we will chit chat soon. Bye, everybody. And don't forget that tomorrow we have one of the 3 fat truckers will be here. So that'll be tomorrow's episode.